Hey dudes! I'm Kayla. This is my Draw My Life. Doo. So, the first thing that happened in my life was obviously I was born at 1:32 in the morning on Christmas Day. So, I was basically the best Christmas present ever. And actually, I was supposed to be born in January, which would actually make me a year older now. So, the fact that I was born about 5 days early makes me a whole year earlier, technically. So I don't remember a lot as a kid because, I was a kid. But what I do remember is that I hated wearing clothes. I never liked wearing shirts and pants, and I always only wore underwear or nothing at all. Another big part about my childhood was that I was a huge tomboy. I hated any and all girly things. The color pink would be nowhere near me, and you'd never catch me playing with Barbies. I was always outside rolling around in dirt, drawing skulls and playing with bugs and Hot Wheels, and I just had a lot more fun playing with essentially what is considered boy toys or stereotypical boy things more than girl things. I wore boys' clothes and didn't really do anything that was girly, I guess. So I don't remember this, but apparently when I was a baby, one time my mother put me on the couch and just laid me there and walked into the kitchen for a minute, which is just past our living room. And when she came back, I was no longer on the couch, but instead I had disappeared and was now on the floor. So obviously I have no recollection of this, but what my mom tells me was that she walked away and came back and I was just there and she heard no sounds. I was perfectly content. I wasn't crying. I wasn't upset. I was just on the floor for no reason. Another huge part about my life is that ever since I was a baby, we've always had cats in our house. My family's a huge cat family. The first cat that we got was Misty. My mom's had her since before I was born. Sometimes I think she likes her better than she likes me too. And when I was in around grade 4, we got 2 twin boys, Mitchell and Spencer, that are little gray and black cats. And they are literally the loves of my life. Spencer's my cat, Mitchell and Misty are my mom's, so. Another thing that affected my childhood was when I was very small, my mother and my real father got a divorce. Because of this, I never really knew my real dad. I hadn't seen him my entire life. And that put a lot of stress on my mom. Being an only mother who also worked at a hospital, she had to support both of us. So when she worked, I would get shipped off, I guess, to Grandma and Grandpa's house, which definitely was not a problem with me. I loved Grandma and Grandpa's house. They spoiled me, they had cats, they had candy. They would always take me to the mall and let me buy things at the dollar store or take me to gardens and the park. And they would always bring my cousins would always come over too, and we'd get to play in the basement and make forts. They even had a pool in their backyard, so I had no problem with being there 24/7 in the summer. So now we come to my first day of school, kindergarten. I never really had a problem with being attached to my mom. On the first day of school, when everybody got dropped off and all their parents left, I just looked out the window and waved bye while 2 or 3 kids sat around me bawling their eyes out while their parents walked away, and I didn't really know why. So I was just like, okay. So in elementary school, I was a pretty smart kid. I got nothing but A's and B's all through grade 1 to about grade 7. And then in grade 7, we got internet and our first laptop. So I would spend my time listening to music on YouTube. And one day I discovered this song by this band called Headley. And I fell absolutely in love with everything about this band. They were the first band that I ever started listening to, and since then, my taste in music has just grown so much. They were my first concert in 2009. I saw them at the Friendship Festival through a really tiny hole in a fence from probably about 100 yards away, because the place was too packed to let any more people into the actual seating area. So I had to sit from a really far distance and listen to them play Cha-Ching. But I just remember it being the most amazing experience, and I was just in awe the entire time. Grade 8, a bit more monumental things started happening. Like, I discovered a band called Green Day. They basically got me into the whole punk alternative rock thing. Even inspired me to start playing bass. They've been my favorite band for 3-4 years now. But then also with grade 8 came some pretty bad times. I started getting sad, and I didn't know why. I couldn't focus on my schoolwork as much, wasn't talking to my friends, and basically just everything became really, really overwhelming. Basically, all of the childly happiness that I had my entire life just completely disappeared, and I didn't know what to feel anymore, but it definitely wasn't happy. So then I made the transition to high school, which I was kind of terrified about. I thought I was going to get shoved in a trash can because I had black hair or something. But it was actually quite the opposite. In fact, I made a pretty large group of friends with people who were just like me, liked the same music, thought the same way, felt the same way. And it made me feel really good about myself. Without the group of friends that I have and have had, I don't know where I would be. They're some of the best friends that anybody could ever ask for, and I love each one of them to death. So basically, my entire life went okay until grade 10. That's when shit hit the fan. I was completely closed out at that point, and I just didn't feel anything. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I wore the same hoodie every day and just shut myself out. I stopped going to school, and I stopped doing the work. I stopped talking, and basically my head became too much for me, and I was heartbroken, and I just turned myself into a complete and total mess. So 2015 came. I was still in grade 10, but it was a new year, and I thought, new year, new me. Maybe this year will be better. I started off the year with one of my favorite quotes, maybe it's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year. And I guess I was wrong about that, or at least I thought for a while. So a lot of things happened at the beginning of grade 12 that I'm not going to get into detail with, but basically it ended with me being really sad and scared in the hospital and just kind of empty, I guess. I felt like shit. Nobody was really supporting me, and I just wanted to go home and watch YouTube and listen to music because that's the only thing that made me happy. And basically the environment just became really toxic to me until some of my friends showed up to cheer me up. They made me laugh and made me forget that I was in a hospital, and they told me how much they loved me, and it definitely cheered me up. And it opened my eyes a lot, and to be honest, I would not go back and fix that mistake because it showed me a lot about myself. So by now, you're probably thinking why I haven't mentioned my parents that much, as I'm almost at the end of so far how much I've lived, but I've barely mentioned them. And that's because, well, for starters, I didn't really know my dad, and I never got along with my mom too much when I was a little kid. We got into a lot of fights. I was really picky and a brat, and she was really stubborn and just didn't understand me. She liked to work out and liked her cats, and I basically was everything that was the opposite of my mother. My stepdad, on the other hand, he was more lazy and just liked to kind of play computer and sit there and do his own thing, and when I bothered him, he'd just kind of be like, meh. But I love them both, and they are great parents. My mom and my stepdad got together when I was about 2 years old through mutual friends, so I've known him basically my entire life, so I never really had to get along with him, and I've always been perfectly fine with my mom and him being together. They got married when I was about 9 years old. But still, once again, the fighting with my mom never really stopped, and in fact, around grade 7 and 8, when everything was just getting too much, the fighting was one of the main reasons why I just didn't know what to do. I felt like I was constantly doing everything wrong and she was out to get me, even though I know she's not. But our relationship was really, really rough. But slowly, we kind of worked together on getting each other to be more friendly, I guess. And now we have a pretty okay relationship. We still keep our distance, but we know our boundaries, and I love my mom a lot. So 2015 started off pretty crappy, but after the first couple months, everything started going pretty uphill. And 2015 definitely became one of the best years of my life. And so far, 2016's only been going up. The summer of 2015 is what really opened my eyes and kind of changed me, I guess. I spent a lot of time, almost every single day, out with my friends skateboarding, and we'd go to the train bridge and go swimming in the canal every single day for a few hours. The nights would usually end up with us at somebody's house having a bonfire, and then around 2 a.m. we'd go boarding down Welland to a pizza place and pick up pizza or food. Needless to say, I thought I was basically living the life, and I still think that I was. That was one of the funnest summers that I've ever had, and I wouldn't change that for anything. So here we are now, grade 11, present day. I know that I've evolved so much as a person, and I'm so proud of who I've become today. I wouldn't change anything that's happened to me for the world, and I don't really regret anything. I'm happy with who I am, the piercings that I have, my hair color, how I'm doing in school, the friends I have, what I like. I'm happy. And of course, I have no idea where I'd be without YouTube. It's given me the confidence that I have today, and it's helped me find so many friends and learn so many new things and become comfortable with myself. And I don't know what I would do or where I'd be if I didn't have that kind of influence in my life at this point. So there's probably a lot of things that I forgot to mention, and I'm sorry for that, but that's just about everything that there is to my life so far. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Draw My Life. It was really fun to make. If you like the video, remember to like and comment it down below and share it with your friends. And if you want to follow me on any social media, all the links to me will be in the description. Once again, thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely day. Stay happy, stay true, be you. I love you guys. Peace out.